Alright guys, good evening, how are we doing? Hope you're doing very fine. Alright, so we're talking about fair value gap. This is to further explain it. Okay. Let me change the time frame to 15 minutes time frame. Though it's not that you cannot check your fair value gap in any time frame. Fair value gaps are in all time frame. But I'll be using the 15-minute time frame to teach you, because I know it's because we are not used to this, because we students are very funny. That's when we'll be like, oh, so we are saying we can only check fair value gap on the 15-minute time frame. No, calm down. I'm just using the 15-minute time frame to teach it. And I want you to know the purpose of why I'm teaching you this, why I taught you liquidity first. I'm not expecting you to perform a magic with the buy side liquidity or with the sell side liquidity. The only thing I taught it for was just that you will be able to identify it. The reason why I taught on fair value gap is not that I want you to perform magic with it. No, I want you to be able to identify it. That's all I need. The magic I want you to perform with it, I will teach you later. But for now, just be able to identify a fair value gap. And like I said that fair value gap is an area in price, meaning area in your chart. It means we call all these candles, everything that makes up this candle, we call it price action. Or you can just call everything here the chart. So everything that makes up this these candles here, we call it price. So fair value gaps are areas in price action whereby there is a void. Let me just be like that. I think that's like one of the best way I can put it. Okay, so I'm looking for a better way to explain this. Alright, so how can I explain it? Because I like teaching with analogies, but okay, let me go back to this chart here. Alright, just like our buy side liquidity and our sell side liquidity, a fair value gap is formed by 3 candles. Now, there are some times that you will not have a fair value gap in some particular places in price action. That's not an issue. But an issue is that there are some things that we need to do in the marketplace and we need a fair value gap for it. What are those things that we need to do? We will talk about it in our next lecture. Because one thing I've noticed about us is that we are always so eager and we feel like I'm holding something back. No, I'm not holding something back. The purpose of this lecture is to teach you how to identify a fair value gap. In our next class, you will know how to use a fair value gap. Alright, so that's been established now. A fair value gap is formed by 3 candles and okay, alright, so as I was saying, fair value gaps are areas in price action whereby there is a void. Now, like I said, it's formed by 3 candles. 3 candles makes up your fair value gap. Now, let me show you how to identify it first. Now, like I said, the major aim is to be able to identify it. As you progress the mentorship, you would understand the usefulness later. Now, look at this very well. Let me just pick any 3 random candle. Now, don't forget that it is the second candle that would carry the fair value gap. Okay, I come again. 3 candles. The candle in the middle, the second candle, will be the one that would carry the fair value gap. Now, this is candle number 1, right? No, we'll start marking to the right, clockwise. This is candle number 1, right? This is candle number 2, right? This is candle number 3, right? Now, this candle number 2, is this candle naked? Now, the question is, naked in what sense? Okay, let me explain by what I mean by naked for you. Now, candle number 1, candle number 2, candle number 3. This candle number 2, is it totally covered? Is it overlapped by candle number 1, candle number 3? This is what I mean. Now look at candle number 1. Candle number 1, the base of candle number 1. This is the base, right? Candle number 3, the up of candle number 3. This is it, right? This is the up with this wick. If candle number 1 has wick, we still use it. So It's not a rocket science. Whether it has wick or not is irrelevant. The question is, candle number 1, where is the base? Okay, this is the base. Candle number 3, where is the up? This is the up. Now, is there a separation between the candle number 1 bottom and candle number 3 top? Yes, there's a void here. I don't know how to explain that better than that. Now, look at this candle in the middle here. It is not overlapped by candle number 1. It's not overlapped completely by the first candle and the third candle. There is a pocket. There is a void here. Let me mark it out with triangle 2, rectangle 2. Can you see? Can you see that there is a void, there is a space here, right? Okay, and this is a bearish candle. Why? Because you see that this middle candle here, it's formed by, like I said, this middle candle, the candle that has the fair value gap, is formed by a down close candle, meaning a bearish candle. I've talked about this in our first lecture. A candle that is going down. This red candle is a bearish candle because it's going down. I've explained why this is a down close candle in our first lecture. So if you have forgotten, go back to watch that lecture. Now, because the candle that creates this fair value gap is a down close candle, this gap is a bearish gap. So that's not really important. Right, so that's number 1. Let me look for another example of, okay. Alright, look at this now. Look at this now. This is candle number 1, right? Like I told you, you can just pick any 3 random candles. Then you see there's a fair value gap. Now you're asking, okay, so you're telling me advanced population, I just look for any random candles. No. By the time you produce the mentorship, you understand how it works. You understand the magic you can do with it. But like I said, the purpose of teaching you this lecture is just to be able to identify a fair value gap and practice like you open your chart like the way you did for basket liquidity. You open your chart and you practice, you train your eyes to be able to locate a fair value gap. Then from there you progress. But the main thing here is not performing magic with the fair value gap. It is identifying a fair value gap. So don't misplace the priority. Now look at this now. This is candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, right? Now this candle 2 here, does it look like it is naked here? No, it's not naked. Why? Because you look at this first candle, it's overlapped. Look at this first candle here. The bottom of this candle, this is the bottom of this candle, right? And the top of this candle is here. You can see that both the first candle and the third candle overlapped this middle candle completely. Like they don't give it a breathing space, just like they did here. Come on. So where are you now? It's all about breathing space. Like, is there a space for anything? I'm coming. Alright. So look, if you can see this first one and that one, they are different. For this one, the candle in the middle right here, this candle in the middle, it has a breathing space. This first candle does not overlap it completely. You can see that there's a difference between this first candle's base and this third candle's up. Like there's a difference. Like they don't, this third candle, its up does not overshoot the, okay, I think this is the best way to explain it. Right now you can see that the up of this third candle does not violate, is not above the base of this first candle. That's just the best way to explain it. So because of that, you can see that there is a pocket of gap for this middle candle. This middle candle is naked, is not overlapped. If I check with that one I was trying to explain with, can even explain with this one also. You can see that these are 3 candles. Candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, right? this first candle here, this is the base, right? This third candle here, this is the up. You can see that the up of this candle is higher than the base of this candle, right? Because of that, this middle candle does not have a fair value gap. There's no void here. But if you look at this one very well now, look at this one very well. Let me mark something here. We have first candle, second candle, third candle, right? Now, this first candle, this is the top, right? This third candle, this is the down, right? You can see that between the top of this first candle and the down of this third candle, there is a pocket here, there's a void here. If this first candle, if the top was longer, or the down of this third candle was down, like it was way down, violating the top of this guy, or the top of this first candle was way up, like was higher than the low of this candle, then there won't be a gap. You can see that there's a gap here, difference between the top of this first candle and down of this third candle. This is not as complicated as this. I'm just trying to like explain better. But and so by the time you watch this video and try to train your eyes, you can see there's a gap here. Unlike this one that is choky, there's no gap here. Everything is just choky here, just choky. Everything overlaps. But here you can see there's a gap here, 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 there's a gap here. So what I want you to do is to be able to train your eyes to locate and get a fair value gap. In our next class, you would understand better. So please watch the video and take notes and try to practice identifying the fair value gap. So until we meet next time, take care of yourself.